most games, the Resident Evil 4 Remake has several details, interactions, enemy behavior, secrets, etc. that are missable depending on how you play it. In this video, I will share with you 5 such things that I found during my time playing, which you may have missed. In the village square, there is this archway that is connected to the house that is closest to the old church. This archway is right next to the entrance/exit of the tunnel that goes under said church. When you first get to the village, this archway is as it should be, perfectly in place and usable. However, when you return to the village after visiting the chief's manor, this archway is destroyed. You can no longer pass through it. Since it was destroyed while we were away from the village, we have no way of knowing what happened to it. Did the ganado destroy it in order to block you off, like how they destroyed the tower? Or did the archway just naturally crumble due to poor construction and or age/weather conditions? Who knows? What I do know is that curiously, when you fight the ganado the first time you get to the village square, Dr. Salvador will eventually spawn. If instead of barricading yourself in the big house or standing your ground somewhere else, you decide to run around the village while being chased, if you walk through and under the archway with Dr. Salvador hot on your heels, this will happen. My guess is that he does this to prevent you from running back the way you came from. He is trying to box you in. In any case, this caught me completely by surprise. I definitely did not see it coming. So at least in this playthrough, which was my 4th, I know exactly what happened to the archway. And this makes me wonder if perhaps in playthroughs where you don't trigger this, Dr. Salvador is still the one who demolishes the archway. Maybe out of spite for being unable to get you before it was time to pray. Also, I love that enemies can do such drastic and crazy things when you play the game in a different way. Speaking of enemies acting differently, did you know that the Plaga Mandibula, which is this dragon serpent thing that can pop out from some enemies when you score a decapitating headshot, can do this? Well, I certainly did not know this until it happened. This was also in my 4th playthrough, and it is still the only time that I have seen this happen. I guess that this is so rare because most ceilings are not low enough for them to actually reach it. This area here is probably the only one that allows for it to happen. This totally caught me off guard when I saw it, and while it did nothing to help it against me or to hamper me, I was still confused briefly. Like, what? They can do that? I still don't know what purpose this serves, because they can't use their acid breath or attempt to behead you. So what are they gonna do? Flail around aimlessly hoping to hit you? Who knows? Also, these things do not do this in the original game. At least, I am pretty sure they don't. I could just be misremembering, but I have replayed the original game twice now post-remake, and I never saw them do this. Though since they are so deadly, they are always a priority target. So perhaps I just have not given them enough time to do this. Shortly after meeting Salazar for the first time, you will find yourself in the prison/dungeon area, where you will hear the wailing of the Garrador, which leads to this comment from Ashley.
What was that? Do they keep animals down here or something?
When you take the key you need to get out of here, you will end up face to face with said Garrador. Now, you can kill him, or you can simply escape. But regardless of how you deal with him, when you reunite with Ashley, this conversation will happen.
Oh, it's you. What happened down there?
Nothing. You were right about the animals, though.
If you just keep playing as normal, meaning that you use the key on the door and you keep going, then that's the end of this event. However, if you killed the Garrador, you can head back downstairs to show Ashley the body, which will lead to this adorable from the part of Ashley and hilarious from the part of Leon exchange.
Was this the animal?
No, you can't keep them.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Now, funnily enough, if you do not kill the Garrador, then Ashley won't follow you down here. Self-preservation at its finest. Or maybe Capcom trying to spare us a headache.
Whoa.
Speaking of cute interactions with Ashley, after being separated from her for the first time in the castle, you will find this room with a treasure in it. You cannot access this room without Ashley, since you need to boost her up so that she can open it from the other side. Once you get her back, you can return to this room to claim the treasure, which I forgot to do in my first playthrough. When you do, Ashley has this to say.
Whoa. I wonder how much that's worth.
Now this is curious enough, since in my experience, she does not say this or anything like this about any other treasure. However, this gets even better because if you pass by the merchant, she will say this.
You gonna sell that thing you got?
Sadly, if you do sell the treasure, she does not have anything else to say. I wonder why she only takes such an interest with this treasure. I guess that this treasure is special, since in the original game, the castle also has a room just like this one in the same general area that you cannot access the first time you find it, because Ashley is not with you. But you can return later to claim your prize, which in the original game is a free broken butterfly magnum plus some pesetas and a sellable treasure, instead of just a depraved idol like in the remake. Now I realize that these two exchanges with Ashley are kind of difficult to miss, since all you need to do is get the treasure. So I will add a bonus to this section, which is related. Normally the first time you encounter the knights is when you try to get the lion's head. However, before this, you can encounter one right in front of the room that houses the aforementioned treasure. This is of course something you won't miss if you get the treasure. But in the room where you first see Ada, which is close by, you can encounter two more knights. These two are missable since you don't really need to return to this room, provided you used the small key you get shortly after leaving this room to open the drawer in it.
Oi, where are you off to? It took me ages to set this up.
Like in the original game, the merchant sometimes has a firing range next to him. In the remake, there are really only two reasons why you would go into the firing range: to actually test your shooting skills or to try your luck with the charm dispensing gacha machine. However, it turns out that there is a third thing you can do: annoy the merchant. If you step up to the firing range and then you leave without partaking in the shooting, the merchant will berate you for it.
Oi, don't tell me you're leaving. We just got here. Oi, where are you off to? It took me ages to set this up.
I love that he seemingly put so much effort into setting this up for us that he is heartbroken if we don't play along. Also, a little bonus since we are talking about the firing range. You probably know that Ashley will cheer for you in it.
Begin!
High score, here we come. Hi. Oh, that was awesome.
And she will have something adorable to say when you leave.
That was like something you'd see at the fair. It reminds me of being a kid.
But did you know that Luis will also cheer for you and have something to say when you leave?
Begin!
Triple. Look at this guy.
Triple kill!
Shot. Feel rested up now? Whew. I got a little too into that. Good shooting, cowboy. I had fun just watching you work.
I actually found out about Ashley doing this from a video, since the one time I tried at the firing range prior to going for S rank on all of them, Ashley was not with me. Once I found out that Ashley does this, I of course just had to try it for myself, and I got the idea to see if Luis will do the same thing, since coincidentally, right after he joins you as a companion in Chapter 11, there is a merchant with a firing range next to him. I was of course pleasantly surprised. So those are the 5 or 7 if you want to count the bonuses, details, interactions, and enemy behavior that you may have missed in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Did you experience any of these yourself? Are there any that you did not know about prior to watching this video? Please let me know in the comments section down below. Also, please do drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more Resident Evil. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.